Hey, how are you guys? This is JP Sarri once again coming to you with another review. It is really a pleasure to me to actually to present this review. As you may notice, as you might notice, I am a big fan of Hulk. It's one of my favorite characters of the Marvel Universe. A lot of people love the character because there's a lot of story around him, and there's a lot of sad story, you could say it that way. There's a lot of dilemmas in the character. You know, the strongest being there is, the strongest character of the Marvel Universe, the most powerful of all of them, but the one that cannot really control its power. This is a statue that I wanted for quite a while, for a good time, and I was able now to get. And really to kind of close my Hulk collection. I'm not really interested to get any more Hulks. There's others that I might get in the future, but not now. But this, I think, it closes that gap, and I think one that I'm really happy to review this time. This is the Incredible Hulk, the retro green version by Bowen Designs. This is a statue that was actually came out for sale back in 2009, along with other different versions that I like and are very cool. But to me, this is the classic, the green version. To me, even though there is a gray version that came out also around the same time, that is very cool. And actually, if you want to see a review of that piece, I would recommend you to look at the video of my friend Victor Rosario, or Victor R. He has a very cool review of that piece. I love that piece, the gray version. I love the base that came with. I think it's much better than this base. There was a red version that came out before the green version. It is a very nice piece, also hard to come by. There is the Maestro version that came out too, also a few months after the green version and the gray version came out for sale. And then you have the Planet Hulk, the Gladiator version. That is one fantastic piece, very hard to come by, very expensive. Those, I think the releases for those, the edition sizes were like 800. For those, also for the Gray Hulk, there's 1400 of this one. Alright, this is a standard size box. Actually, it's one of the larger boxes from Bowen Designs, but I love the art. I love the picture of this piece. I love that the statue in itself is a fantastic photograph of this. To me, just to see this picture is a selling point for me. It says retro green version. Like I said, this Marvel Universe, Marvel.com, painted statue. This one is right there on this side. Says Incredible Hulk, painted statue, sculpted by Randy Bowen. He sculpted the body, and then McDevitt, a great sculptor, very famous among among collectors. He actually just sculpted the pants. We will review both things when we get to that. It's not over 13 inches tall. Actually, it's close to 17 inches tall, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty large. Retro green version, radio display, strictly limited, of course. And as you can see right there, actual sculpture may vary slightly from photos. And honestly, it's pretty much the same. Then you have 70 years of Marvel Comics back in 2009 when they were actually celebrating the anniversary. Here you can see it says the Incredible Hulk. Very simple. And on this side, actually on this side you have, as always, the number, the edition size, and this one is number 663 out of 1400. Alright guys, there's a lot of reasons to really love the statue. For once, like I said before, this is the retro version, so it represents the curvy style, the curvy era of comics. Of course, a little more muscular than what it was presented at the beginning, but it really represents that. It represents it pretty well. This is a very, very heavy piece, and as you can see right there, let me come closer to you so I can show you that face. It's a fantastic head sculpt. I really like it. I really like the Frankensteinian style, the monkey style of face. It really reminds me a lot of in this case, the Sideshow PF, the original PF. Pretty much the same style, as you can see right there. The big T, the small nose, the big, the part between the nose and the lips, very monkey style. The hair, the face, all this, the look, it looks like a Neanderthal, pretty much. That's what it is, and really, it's just a fascinating sculpt. I think this is one of the reasons why we all love Randy Bowen. Some people that do not know Randy do not really, they're missing a lot when it comes about this, his ability, his art. He is such a great sculptor. His sculpts are fantastic, and really he is the forefather of this hobby. Really he is the great grandfather. But not just that, look at the body. Another people were talking about that this one didn't have any nipples, but to be honest, if you know the comics, you know that back in the day, these things were not represented in the art. You didn't see those type of things draw in the comics. Since there was some type of fear to bring anything that was out of line, too sexual, you could say it that way. And I think that's pretty much the reason why it's not here. And to be honest, it doesn't bother. The detail is there. The paint application is not the greatest, I could say, when it comes about really showcasing the musculature. It really lacks in some areas, but to be honest, it just represents the art pretty well. The art wasn't flashy back in the day. The colors were simple. They were just monotone. And so it doesn't have that extra, like the shading, that nowadays we are come to see in most statues. And I think it's fitting for the skull right here in this arm, as you can see right there. The veins popping, the fingers in the hand. It just looks fantastic. It's a very big hand, as you can see, and there's even detail right there inside the hand. This is a very, very perfect sculpt, really. And when you see it the way it is presented, even the nails, you see that. Even the paint application on the shading and the nails, make them look like they're dirty nails. Very Frankensteinian. It's just fantastic. This piece is definitely in my top 10 list of Bowen must-have. I just really enjoy really what has been done in this piece. And as you can see right here, this is a Troy McDevitt did the pants, and you can see the rib on this side, and you can see right there on that part. Look at that. It's just fascinating. You see the ribs. Fascinating. This is a really high-end collectible, as you can call it that way. Sometimes the statues, even though they're high-end collectibles, some statues look more like garage kits. And this one, it really puts the reality of what Bowen Designs has always been. A company that produces. They started as a garage kit, company, but in reality produces high quality items, as you can see right there, like I was showing you the back. It's fantastic. Look at that. The musculature. Yes, you need some shading. Yes, some of that lack of little shading in certain spots kind of steals part of the beauty of this piece. But when you really look up close, you can see a lot of things, like you can see the elbows, all that little details that added into this piece. And as you can see right there in the pants, it's just fantastic. And look at that in the feet, the big feet. And as you can see right there in the back of his feet, there is the famous Bowen Designs Randy Bowen. As you can see, signature. He always signs his most of the time, he signs his work. In some cases he doesn't, but for the most part he does. And as you can see right there, the feet, just fantastic looking feet. The toenails, they're all well. And as you can see, one of the things that I really enjoy about this piece the most, one of the reasons that I really like, I like the base. It's a little very nice looking base. I like it more than the SmackDown version, because the SmackDown version, it was a rocky terrain like this, but it was pretty much painted in black, while this one has different coloring. Actually, these are real wires. They've been wires that they use for electrical tape. They've been put in there. They've been cut. They've been painted. It just looks terrific. I like when Bowen does. And one thing I like to say Bowen Designs is that they always create, with whatever they have, they create something artistic, something very nice. And if I gotta give credit to Bowen Designs over other companies like Kotobukiya, is that Bowen Designs gives you the whole package. You get the whole thing. They get something that is terrific from the bottom up. Compared to Kotobukiya, that sometimes I feel that it's missing the quality. I love the design of this piece. I love the power, the raw power that it presents. It has an image where it gives you the idea of power, that he's contained, but he has a lot of power and anger. Alright guys, for starters, I'm going to start with another Bowen, another classic Bowen. In this case, is the the Action Thor. And as you can see, this piece, the Hulk is humongous. This is the thing about me that I always consider about Bowen Designs, that I've always considered and I respect them, is that Randy and his company had always been true and very truthful to the comics. And that's something that it needs to be respected. While other companies, yes, they create, like Sideshow creates a lot of stuff for comics, also creates these newer versions and representations, or use a lot of new artists that bring modern representations of the characters that we all love. But Randy remains, maybe stubbornly, but he remains very truthful to that, and that's something that we gotta be grateful, because he created this. He was the one that created this hobby, really, this industry. He was the one that created, and he has remained very truthful to the characters that we all love. And as you can see right here, the size is very, very comparable. Actually, let me give you another option for display if you want to have a battle instead of just a museum pose display. Now, if you're into versus battles, versus displays, like I showed you before, I think I showed you the SmackDown version with this. This is another option. You can also display this way for these two pieces. They look terrific together. Even though this is more like a museum type of pose, it has a lot of, like I said, it has a lot of power. It has a lot of charisma. It has a lot of energy, and that energy it really pours out of the piece. And you can display it not only as a museum pose, but also as an action type of pose. I don't have any other Captain Americas. The only Captain America I have in my collection right now is this Kotobukiya version from Eric Sosa. To be honest, I love this piece, this Captain America, so much. I think it's just a perfect representation of Captain America. It's a perfect 1/6 scale, one perfect Kotobukiya scale. There's always a difference between 1/7, 1/8, or 1/6, or 1/5. We all have different ideas of what the true 1/6 is nowadays. But regardless of what the difference of the sizes, I think this is perfect Kotobukiya size. And this Bowen, this piece Bowen is still large. This Hulk, but it looks fantastic, as you can see right there. All right, guys. For a lot of people that love Bowen Designs, a lot of people that love the Hulk statues that have been created over the years, not only by Bowen but by many other companies. There's always going to be a new Hulk statue on the way. There's always going to be a new one. There's always going to be a version that is going to be superb over the others. But there's some that really, regardless of all the Hulks that have been created, there's some that I'd really consider in the status of grails by many collectors, and they're considered the best statues for the character from a company. And I think personally, I have here with these three that I have in front of me, are the best representations of Hulk created by Bowen Designs. Yes, Bowen Designs has created many Hulks, different versions, but these pieces, as you can see, they have remained very, very strong after many years. You can see the SmackDown version that was released back in 2006, the retro that I'm reviewing today that was produced in 2009, and then we have the variant version that was produced back in 2012. It came out for sale in the beginning of 2013. So this to me are the top of the line when it comes about Hulk versions from Bowen Designs. When it came out for sale, it was a price of $200. It's hard to find the really. A lot of people sell them. I think the average price will be around $400. So in the 5 years that piece has been released, it already doubled in price. Some people are asking in the aftermarket around $600, $500 for it. A fair price to me will be $400. I think $400 will be the perfect price. You can find it because of course it's a rare piece now. If you can find it for a lot less than that, I would say jump for it. Around $300 will be the ideal price that you can find it in the aftermarket, and that would be a nice price. If not, $400 still is a fair price. Some people asking for $500, $600. It took me a while to find it for the right price. But like everything else, just hunt it down. When you're able to find it, then you jump for it. I highly recommend this piece. I highly recommend it. I think it's a fantastic. If you're a Jack Kirby's fan, this is the perfect Hulk for you. If you like the Neanderthal version of the Hulk, this is the piece for you. If you like the Frankensteinian style, this is the piece for you. Very close to the PF of the sideshow PF in style, but I think this is even more closer to the comic than the other one. Very fantastic piece. Well, I want to say once again, thank you for watching this video. I hope you like. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave your questions below. If you have any comments, you want to add anything to what I say, what I said, just feel free to do it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon, or have a great evening. See you in the next one.